I'm at Taftsville, Vermont. Going to be photographing the covered bridge and weir at Taftsville. At the moment I'm standing upstream of the covered bridge, just above the weir, and I'm going to be photographing just downstream of the covered bridge. The composition I have in mind includes part of the covered bridge, part of the buttress supporting the bridge, with the weir or the falls in the background. So this is first shot looking up at the bridge. I really should get an app to do this on my phone, but for a quick reference, there's nothing like making a frame, even if it's the wrong format, different perspective of the lens. Just cutting out your peripheral vision helps to clarify things, I think. Light's gone again, comes back, goes. So that's where I started off, with a 300mm lens. The idea to get a tight composition of the buttress below the bridge, the large stone wall and the rocks in the foreground. Drop that in there. Now, because this is a 300mm lens with 5/4 lenses, the focal length is that actual distance. So whereas the 120mm lens, when focused at infinity, has a distance of 120mm from the film to the lens plane, the 300mm lens has a distance of 300mm from the film to the lens plane. So what I've got to do with this camera is fully extend the camera in order to focus at infinity. It gets even longer, wider, when you begin to focus close up. Okay. That is approximately where the 300mm lens will be for this shot. For movements today, I'm raised the front up just slightly because I'm low down on the river itself. I want to get some of the covered bridge in the shot, and I could do that by tilting the camera upwards, but I don't want to have the effect that that creates in terms of the perspective and the lines and things like converging verticals. So I've got the camera back vertical and I've lifted the front of the camera, or the lens board, which has shifted the image on the ground glass screen to give me more of what's at the top of the picture and less of what's at the bottom. In other words, a little bit more of the covered bridge and a little less of the snow-covered ground in front. About half an hour ago I said I was quite pleased because the bright clear skies had changed and it had started snowing, which had reduced that brightness ratio down to something where I didn't need to worry about losing any highlights or shadows. And I got my shots and packed up, and as you can see now, it's really starting to snow. So today the timing's been, for once, absolutely fantastic. I got my light when I wanted it, and the snow held off until I got my images, so I'm very pleased.